welcome you in the lecture series of Basics of Communication Engineering. It is 19th lecture of this series. In previous lecture, we have discussed about sampling theorem, aliasing and types of sampling techniques. In this lecture, I would like to discuss about different types of sampling techniques in detail. And the outline of this lecture are ideal sampling and practical sampling, where we will discuss about natural sampling, flat top sampling, and after this we will discuss about comparison of sampling techniques. In the objective of this lecture, you will able to explain different types of sampling techniques, merits and demerits of different sampling techniques, and comparison between sampling techniques. So now, there are basically three types of sampling techniques: ideal or instantaneous or impulse sampling, and natural sampling and flat top sampling. And these two types of sampling are known as practical sampling techniques, and we have also already discussed about the sampling impulse sampling in previous lecture. So now we will discuss some more about ideal sampling. The sampling technique which we have discussed in previous, where the unit impulse train is used as sampling function. This is known as ideal sampling, and this figure shows the circuit of to produce the ideal sampling. This circuit is known as switching sampler. This circuit simply consists of a switch, and if the switch closing time t of the switch approaches to 0, then output delta xt of this circuit will contain only the instantaneous value of the input signal xt. Since the width of the pulse approaches to 0, here you can see the width is 0. The instantaneous sampling gives a train of impulses of height equal to the instantaneous value of the input signal xt. So the amplitude or height of the impulses are varying according to the baseband signal. We know the sampled signal x delta t, it can be given as summation minus infinity to infinity x nts into delta t minus nts, or you can have in frequency domain x delta f, it is equal to fs into summation minus infinity to infinity x f minus nfs, and this is your ideal sampling. Now, the disadvantages of ideal sampling. The disadvantage of ideal sampling is that due to very narrow samples, the transmitted power is very small and the SNR ratio is low, so the ideal sampled signals may get lost in the background noise. Ideal sampling is not possible to achieve practically. It is impossible to have pulses of width approaches to 0, so practically natural and flat top sampling are used, and ideal sampling was used only to prove the sampling theorem. Now, practical sampling techniques. The practical sampling techniques are different from the ideal sampling techniques in different ways, and three different ways are: in practical sampling methods, the duration of the sampling pulse is finite and the amplitude of the pulses is also finite. And second point, practical sampling methods use the practical low pass filter for reconstruction, and guard bands between the adjacent spectrum in the sampled signal is necessary to avoid the distortion, and ideal filters are not used. So the guard band are also necessary in the practical sampling. And third point, the signal xt which is to be sampled is not strictly band limited. Due to this, there are problems faced while deciding the sampling rate, and there are two practical sampling technique, the natural sampling or chopper sampling and flat top sampling. So first of all, we will discuss about the natural sampling. This is more reasonable and practically feasible sampling technique, and the process of sampling technique you can see in this figure here. This is the baseband signal xt, and this is the sampling signal ct, waveform of sampling, and this consists of a train of pulses, each of a duration tau. So duration of each pulse is tau, and these pulses are separated by sampling time ts. the baseband signal xt and the sampled signal st. It is, you can see on your screen, the sampled signal, it will be the product of the sampling signal and the baseband signal. The sampled signal is a train of pulses of width tau whose amplitude is varying according to xt. So these pulses do not have flat top, but their top follow the waveform of xt, and the sampling rate is greater than or equal to the Nyquist rate, that is fs greater than equal to 2fm. And natural sampling, sometimes known as chopper sampling, because the waveform of the sampled signal appears to be chopped off from the continuous time signal xt, and the circuit for the natural sampling is in figure, where the chopper switch is being operated by the sampling function ct. So this chopper switch is operated by the sampling function ct, train of pulses, and this switch can be realized by using MOSFET, and we will apply this sampling function at the gate of this MOSFET, and the output of this circuit or the natural sampled signal, you can see at this point switch is on of the MOSFET, and at this point switch will be off of the MOSFET, and after the switching off we will get the zero value, and in the switching on time, we will get the value, instantaneous value of the modulating signal or baseband signal. And this is the natural sampled signal here. With the natural sampling, a signal sampled at a Nyquist rate, it may be reconstructed exactly by passing the sampled signal through a ideal low pass filter with cutoff frequency fm, where fm is the highest frequency component of the signal. So this filter having the cutoff frequency fm, and this is the low pass filter characteristic, and the bandwidth is 0 to fm. The naturally sampled signal is also known as natural pulse amplitude modulated signal PAM signal, because the amplitude of the pulse train is modulated according to the signal xt. Now you know the sampled signal st is the multiplication of baseband signal st and the sampling function ct, and this sampling function ct, it is the form of it is of complex Fourier series, and it can be represented as summation n minus infinity to infinity Cn e to the power j 2 pi fs n t, where Cn it is equal to t into a by t naught sinc function of fn t, and where t, capital T, is the pulse width and it is equal to tau, and fn is the harmonic frequency of fs, that is fn is equal to nfs, or you can say fn it will be n by f naught, or you can say nf naught. Here t naught is equal to ts. So we can write Cn is equal to tau a by Ts sinc function of Fn tau. And now this Ct, it also can be represented as summation tau a by Ts sinc function of Fc tau e to the power j 2 pi Fs Nt. So the sampled signal St, it can be represented as tau a by Ts summation sinc function of Fc tau into e to the power j 2 pi Fs Nt into xt, because the sampled signal it will be xt into ct. And this equation 7 represents the naturally sampled signal in time domain. Now if I will take the Fourier transform both sides of this equation 7, then I will get sf is equal to tau a by ts summation sinc function fn tau and into Fourier transform e to the power j 2 pi fs nt into xt. Now, you know the frequency shifting property of the Fourier transform is e to the power j 2 pi fs nt into xt. The Fourier transform it will be x f minus n fs. So using this we can have the sampled signal sf, it will be tau a by ts summation sinc function of fn tau x minus x f minus n fs. And but Fn is equal to nfs, so the spectrum of naturally sampled signal, it will be sf is equal to tau a by ts summation sinc function nfs tau into xf minus nfs, and this term xf minus nfs represents the shifted version of the frequency spectrum xf, and the shifted replicas are observed at fs is equal to plus minus fs plus minus 2fs plus minus 3fs, and here the amplitude is the sinc function. So for this function xt, the amplitude will be decreasing function. So we can see in this figure, this is the spectrum of the signal xt, and the spectrum of the naturally sampled signal, it will be the replicas at fs minus fs and minus 2fs plus 2fs, and but the here the amplitude is decreasing because there is sinc function is involved here. So this is the spectrum of naturally sampled signal, and this is the spectrum of the signal xt. Now if we talk about the merits and demerits of natural sampling, in merits you can say the generation is easy, and we can use practical low pass filter for reconstruction, and the amplitudes of high frequency components decreases, so some distortion is introduced. This is the demerit. And increased snr due to finite pulse width of the sampling function and that of sampled signal, and for large value of tau there is a possibility of crosstalk. This is again a demerit of this natural sampling. Now we will discuss about flat top sampling or rectangular pulse sampling. The natural sampling is rarely used in practice. Instead, the other sampling technique known as flat top sampling is used in practical. In flat top sampling technique, the top of the sample remains constant and is equal to the instantaneous value of the baseband signal xt at the start of the sampling. So at the start of the sampling, we will have the sample, and this amplitude is remain constant during the duration of the train of the pulse. So the analog signal xt is sampled instantaneously at a rate of 1 by ts, and the duration of each sample is tau. The flat top pulses can be obtained using sample and hold circuit, and this is the figure of the sample hold circuit, and it is having two FET switches, and the analog signal xt is applied to the input of the circuit, and the sampled signal st is obtained across the capacitor. A gate pulse is applied to gate G1 of this FET at the instant of sampling. For a very short time, the sampling switch will turn on and the capacitor charges through it to the sampling value X and Ts. The sampling switch is then turned off. Both the FETs will remain off now for a duration of tau. So the capacitor will hold the voltage across it for this period tau. So the pulse is stretched to tau second, and at the end of the pulse interval tau, we will apply a pulse to a gate G2 of another FET switch, that is gate terminal of the discharge FET. This will turn on the discharge FET and short circuit the capacitor. The output voltage then reduced to 0. So at this point output voltage is reduced to 0. Again we will apply the pulse at G1, then pulse at G2, and so on. The flat top sampled signal is also known as flat top PAM because the amplitude of the pulse train is modulated according to xt, but here compared to natural PAM, there is a flat top PAM because the amplitude is flat over the duration of your pulse train. In flat top sampled signal, the rising edge of each pulse represents the instantaneous value of xt. So flat top sampled pulses can be obtained by convolution of the instantaneous sample and the pulse ht of duration tau. So we can have the convolution of impulse train delta t and ht of duration tau. So we can have this train of pulses. So the flat top sample signal st can be represented as x delta t convolution with ht, and this is basically this is known as ideally sampled signal. ideally sampled signal, and we have already discussed about this ideal sampled signal in previous lecture. So the flat top sampled pulses are obtained by convolution of ideally sampled signal x delta t and the pulse train of finite duration ht of duration tau. So we know the ideal sampled signal x delta t, it is summation minus infinity to infinity x nts into delta t minus nts, or we can write it, and so the flat top sample signal st, it will be x delta t convolution ht, or we can write it as integration x delta lambda h t minus lambda d lambda, or we can write it as integration minus infinity to infinity summation n x nts delta lambda minus nts h t minus lambda d lambda, or we can write it as st, it will be summation minus infinity to infinity x nts integration minus infinity to infinity delta lambda minus nts h t minus lambda d lambda. Now from the shifting property of the delta function, we know if there is a function ft, so integration minus infinity to infinity function ft delta t minus t naught dt, then we will have the function at the value of at the instant of t naught, so f t naught we will have. So from this property, so we can have flat top sampled signal xt, it will be equal to summation x nts into h t minus nts, and this equation 12 represents the flat top sampled signal domain. So take the Fourier transform of both sides, we can have, so now xt is x delta t convolution with ht, or we can take the Fourier transform of both sides, we have xf sf, it will be x delta f into hf, and so the spectrum of flat top sampled signal, it will be sf equal to fs in summation x n minus n fs into hf, because the this spectrum, it will be fs summation x n minus nfs, from the previous lecture, this thing. So we will have the spectrum of the flat top sampled signal, and this is frequency domain flat top sample signal. This equation shows you the frequency domain representation of the flat top sample signal. So if this is the spectrum of the analog signal x, the signal xt has a flat spectrum over its entire range from 0 to fm. The sampling frequency fs, or you can say 1 by ts, is large enough to allow guard band, and due to pulse width tau, the SNR of the transmitted signal is improved. This will improve the system performance in presence of noise, and it is possible to use a practical low pass filter, no need to use ideal filter. One error known as aperture gets introduced here, just like you can see, this is the spectrum of the instantaneous sampled signal delta x delta t from 0 to fm, and at fs and at 2fs, this is the spectrum of the instantaneous sampled signal, and the spectrum of the sampling signal, it is the spectrum of the sampling signal. And here you can see the spectrum of the flat top sampled signal. Here there is error, and this is known as aperture effect. The spectrum should have been flat in this position of the spectrum, but it is not, as you can see in this figure. This should be flat in this case, but it is not, it is decreasing here. So the shaded portion is an error due to effect known as aperture effect. The high frequency role of characteristic of a typical HF acts like as a low pass filter and attenuates the upper portion high frequency of the message signal spectrum. So this is the spectrum of the low pass filter, and this will suppress the higher frequency component, and that's why we will have the error. The aperture effect is due to the finite pulse width tau of the sampling signal. With increase in the pulse width tau, the frequency will reduce and error will increase. The aperture effect can be reduced by reducing the pulse width tau. The aperture effect can be corrected in reconstruction by including an equalizer. Now, reconstruction of original signal. Due to the aperture effect, an amplitude distortion as well as delay is introduced in the flat top sampling. The distortion can be corrected by connecting an equalizer after the reconstruction filter or low pass filter. So we have used here, after the reconstruction or low pass filter, we have used the equalizer to eliminate this kind of distortion. Now, merits and demerits of flat top sampling. Better SNR due to increased signal power. This is due to finite width tau of the pulse, and this the generation is easy, and a practical filter can be used for reconstruction, and these are the merits. And in demerit we can say aperture effect introduce distortion. Now, comparison of sampling technique: ideal sampling, natural sampling, and flat top sampling. So if we see the nature of the sampling function, in ideal sampling, the train of impulses are used as the sampling function, and in natural sampling, the train of finite duration pulse are used, and in flat top sampling, the train of finite duration pulses are used. And if we talk about the circuit arrangement, the ideal sampling use of multiplier, the natural sampling use of chopper, and the flat top sampling use sample and hold circuit. And if we talk about the practical realization, the ideal sampling, the practically realization is not possible, and natural sampling practically realizable, and flat top sampling are also practically realizable. And if we see the waveform of the ideal samples, as you can see on your screen, this will be looks like this. And the natural sampling, the waveform having the finite duration, but the amplitude is varying, and this varying amplitude is proportional to the baseband signal xt. And in the flat top, the amplitude is not varying, it is constant, and this constant at the initial of the pulse, it is the instantaneous value of the baseband signal, and this value is held during the duration of in the duration of the pulse train. And if we talk about the sampling rate, in ideal sampling it tends to infinity, in natural sampling it satisfy Nyquist criteria, and in also flat top sampling it satisfy Nyquist criteria. And if we talk about mathematical representation in time domain, so mathematically in time domain it can be represented summation x nts into delta t minus nts, and natural sample signal can be represented in time domain as tau a by ts into summation xt sinc function of n fst e to the power j2 pi n fst. And the flat top sample signal in time domain can be represented as summation x nts h t minus nts. And if we talk about the frequency spectrum or signal representation in frequency domain, so in ideal sampling, delta x delta f, it is equal to fs summation x f minus nfs. And natural sampling, sf, it is equal to tau a by ts summation sinc function of nfst into xf minus nfs. And flat top sampling, sf, it will be summation xf minus nfs into hf. And if we talk about the signal power, in ideal sampling, the signal power is very low due to the use of impulses, and in natural sampling, the signal power increases with increase in the pulse width, and also in the flat top sampling, the signal power increases with increase in the pulse width. And if we talk about the bandwidth requirement, in ideal sampling the bandwidth requirement is very high, and in natural sampling increases with the reduction in the pulse width. And also in the flat top sampling, the bandwidth requirement increases with reduction in the pulse width. And if we talk about the effect of noise, in ideal sampling effect of noise is maximum, and in natural sampling effect of noise is moderate, and also in flat top sampling the effect of noise is moderate. And this is the end of this lecture. Here we have discussed about different type of sampling techniques, their merits and demerits. This was 19th lecture of the lecture series of Basics of Communication Engineering. In the next lecture, we will discuss about pulse amplitude modulation, pulse width modulation, and pulse position modulation. Till then, thanks for listening this lecture. Thank you.